proper setup is important. The first thing we're going to look at is the driver. You see it has an input, which is going to come from the output of the controller, that is black, and the output, which is white. So first of all, make sure that the white goes to the white and the black to the black. Done. On the driver, you're left with an orange wire and a black wire. The black wire is a ground that is mandatory no matter what. The orange wire is the positive input for the turn signal. So you want to connect this to the turn signal circuit on your car, and that will activate the turn signal function on the halo. Again, you need to make sure that the ground is connected regardless of whether or not you plan to use that turn signal function. Last but not least, on the controller, you have a positive and negative for 12 volt. These can be connected to any 12 volt switch power source from your vehicle, or you can wire in your own switch. That's up to you. Now we're going to go through the iPhone pairing process. First of all, it's important to make sure that your Bluetooth on your phone is turned on. As you can see, Bluetooth is turned on, so we are good to go and ready to start the pairing here. Open the app up, and we're going to hit the pair controller, go through the steps 1 through 2. It's pretty intuitive. So right now, the phone is trying to connect with the controller for the very first time. As you can see, it only took about 5 seconds. We have a success screen. Hit party time, and you should be good to go, ready to start using the app. Now I've got this halo hooked up to channel number 1, so I'll go ahead and make sure I select that, and I'm ready to start using the setup. Good to go. Now, common problem with iPhones is that when you go out of the app, you turn your phone off, you reset it, turn the car off, all that stuff. If you go back to try and repair it later, you might get an error. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and explain to you how that works. So as you can see here, this is trying to connect again. This screen is going to remain on for about 30 seconds before it eventually gives me an error. I'll show you what you need to do after that. Failed to connect. All right, so once you see this failed to connect screen, your stuff isn't messed up. All you need to do is hit the little cancel button down here in the corner. If you go back one screen, cancel, back, and then skip pairing. Chances are you saw that error because your phone is actually already paired to the controller and it's looking to do that again. So as you can see, if you see that failed screen, just back out of all of it, go back to the main screen, and you're already good to go.
Matt just talked about some issues that you'd have on the iPhone, which is the same ones that you would have here on the Androids. There's also some other stuff that's a little more in-depth with the Androids that we need to dive into a little bit, and that's going to be on the permissions or the back end of the phone. So that's going to be in the managing settings in the back of the phone, which is going to be all the way down till you find the phone. Let's see. It's going to be the Morimoto XBT, exact same icon, exact same thing as on the Apple. But when you get to it, you're going to see 3 settings. You're going to see the storage, the phone, and the location. The other 2, the phone and the storage, aren't going to be relevant here, but you want to make sure that the location is turned on. Once you do that, you can back all the way out, and then you'll be able to dive into the app like Matt showed.
So the last common problem that you might encounter is that when you're going through the colors, you're missing a spectrum. In this case is green. As you can see, in no case do I hit any green. And the most common issue that relates to this is that there's a loose pin in one of the JST connectors. Very commonly encountered because of the fact that you often have to de-pin these connectors when slipping the wires through small holes in the headlight, like the shroud, for example. Now, as you can see, we have this green pin backed all the way out here just for demonstrational purposes on this particular connector. But really, this problem can be found anywhere throughout the chain, all the way from the controller, input to the driver, to the output, to the ring. So as you can see, again, there's no green function here because that pin is not installed properly. Even if it is inside of the connector but not making contact with the one on the other side, that can certainly be an issue, and again, we commonly find that. So now that I've got that pin pretty firmly connected back in there, as you can see, I should be able to get green once again, and I do. and that problem is now solved. So if you're missing a particular color, always make sure to check all of the wires and all of the connections throughout the chain.